Hey guys, looks like it's time for a beer. What do you think? I think so. Yeah. Hey, hello everybody. Thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. You know what I'm going to say. Let's go see what's in that fridge today. Alright guys, big favorite here. This is my favorite beer, guys. People ask me all the time what's my favorite beer. In IPAs, this is my favorite beer because I can get it here locally once a year when it comes out. Very limited. I'm usually can get anywhere between 3 bottles to as much as what I've got this year, which is a little over a case. And it takes some finagling to do that. And I have some subscribers that offer to send me this stuff, but I try to get what I can here because shipping is expensive to ship beers. I like to do beer trade and stuff, but that's the biggest killer to beer trades is the shipping. Not only that is a lot of the technically if they don't want you sending alcohol through there. It doesn't say that, but it's not a hazardous liquid, but they frown on it unless they know what's in the package. FedEx actually ships alcohol and has a box and it has a label that says it has alcohol in it, and someone has to be 21 to sign for it when it gets to where it's going and all that hoopla. So, but anyway, a lot of comments about this beer being reviewed and not as good. They did several different batches and bottled them all. I think they all were in January. And this particular bottle, as a matter of fact, all the bottles I have, I've looked at them, are from the batch 115-13. So these were all put into bottle January 15th of this year. So with that being said, I have actually already had a couple of these, and I'm going to be really careful when I review it again here because I really thought it was pretty tasty. I mean, Pliny is good, but I can't get it. It's in California. I'm in Virginia. Unless somebody ships it to me, I don't get it. So it's probably just as good, if not better. That's personal preference, taste. You know how beer is subjective on taste. And also, Heady Topper was at the top of the list. I cannot get that here either. It's got a lot more particles floating around in the beer, which I'm not a big fan of, but I mean, hot particles are not going to hurt you. I mean, if it's supposed to be in there and they're leaving it in there for a reason, good. But those three are the top of my list for IPAs, and those are the ones that I have tried, and I enjoy. But this one is the top of my list because I actually can get it here. So, but it's very expensive. You know, it's at least $4 a bottle, and it runs between $20 and $22 for a 6-pack of this. So, if you're not prepared to pay for that, get out of the way because I am. So, with that being said, guys, this is a double IPA, 10%. That's the biggest kicker to this. This is a 10% beer, and you don't taste the alcohol at all. It is very, very well balanced. Big hoppy taste. If you don't like hops, don't bother. Don't pick this up. Or pick it up and tell me you got it, and you'll send it to me. So that's how it goes, because I love it. Out of the other 3 bottles that I have already had this year, I thought it was delicious. So like I said, I'm going to be a little more careful as I drink this one and see if I think it's worse, better, or whatever. Like I said, I've not had any of the other editions from the 2013 batch, just the 115 edition here, guys. So I've already told you about all this, but I'm going to go through the food pairing, cuisines, barbecue, cheeses, peppery, Monterey, pepper jack, blue, sharp. Your more pungent cheeses, even Gorgonzola and Limburg go with this. The meat for this is game, grilled meat, salmon, your stronger dishes. The glassware is snifter, tulip, oversized wine glass. They got the double glass, guys. And according to their website, this beer will sell after 6 months. I would not try to keep this beer that long. I don't plan on keeping any of mine that long. It would be interesting just to leave one of these in until next year and do a 2013 with a 2014 edition. So that may happen. I may actually sell one of these in the fridge till next year and do a side by side. So give me some comments back on that, guys, if you want me to do that. Is there anything else we need to talk about? American Double Imperial IPA 10% winter availability. Don't think it is. I'm going to go over to their site here. Starting with 6 different hop varieties added to the brew kettle and culminating in a massive dry hop addition of Simcoe hops, one of my favorites. be glad when that becomes unproprietary. We can get the rhizomes for that. I can go, I hope it grows well here because I'm going to grow some of that. That's probably my favorite hops. I love dry hopping with Simcoe. Bells Hopslam possesses the most complex hopping schedule in Bells' repertoire. Select specifically because of their aromatic qualities, these specific Northwest varieties contribute a pungent blend of grapefruit, stone fruit, and floral notes, a generous malt bill, and a solid dollop of honey. So the honey, of course, honey is the yeast are going to eat all that honey sugars up. So it's going to tend to make it a little drier as far as what I would think it would do. So the honey provides just enough body to keep the balance in check, resulting in a remarkably drinkable rendition of a double India Pale Ale style. So, and their shelf life here, it says 6 months. Doesn't have their IBUs listed on their site here, so that's interesting. Seems like they would. And I don't think it's listed on the bottle here. Ale brewed with honey, Comstock, Michigan, alcohol 10%, 115 to date. So, nothing to decipher as far as code-wise. So, guys, I'm going to stop flapping my gums. I want this to be a 20-minute video. This is a re-review. I have reviewed this beer last year or year before. I don't remember now. I think it was a year before. So, and I did not review it last year, I don't think. So, down the center there on the final end of the pour, over into the light, it is gorgeous. It is a tangerine color. Got a few bubbles streaming up. Not overly carbonated. Looks like a big beer in the glass. It really does. It's got them really tiny bubbles just barely streaming up from the bottom there. Didn't pour a big head, just what covers the top of the beer there, guys. Looks very tasty in the glass. Let's see what the nose thinks about it. Pine. I am getting the alcohol though, so the alcohol is not as hidden in this year's edition than what I think has been previous. Pine, grapefruit, citrus. Oh man. Everything that you'd want in an IPA. Tropical fruit, mango, pears, apples. It smells delicious. That is awesome. Guys, 2013 Hopslam. Cheers. Big beer. Very nice, very sweet. A lot of grapefruit. It's like biting into a grapefruit, basically. Yep, it's like grapefruit stuffed with pine. It may not be as good as previous years. I'm thinking the alcohol is just a little more present. It's not quite as sweet as it was. I don't know if they changed the recipe, the honey, or the hops are a little less pungent this year, or what the deal is, but I'm sure they're probably using the same recipe. It seems like the alcohol is just a little more intense this year than what I've noticed before. But you got to realize, it's 10%. It's 10%. And this drinks very easily. Especially for somebody like me that loves hops. I could very easily sit down and drink 2 or 3 or 4 even of these. Then you're going to be in trouble at 10%. I will. If I drink 4 10%, I'll feel like crap all of the next day probably. So I haven't drank. Or you got to realize 10%. I drink 4 of them. That's like 8 Budweisers or 8 Coors Lights or Miller Lights. I don't know what's the ABV. I don't think it's quite that high. In the 4s probably. Maybe some Bud Ice or something like that. It's got the higher 5.5% or something like that. I'd like drinking more of those, but that'd be a big beer to try to drink a whole 6-pack of them. I don't want to do that now. I'm too old for that, guys. There's a lot of you young bucks out there can session 6 of these with no problem. I don't want that hangover the next day. Guys, it's right out of the fridge. We're going to let the other half sip on this. She loves it just as much as I do. And we'll come right back and do the final chug on this one. You might not get your 10. Stick around. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Well, maybe just a little bit more than a little bit. I did the blind taste test on the other half. Or she didn't know what this was, and I carried it back in the other room. Let her taste it. And she also got a taste of this the other day when we got it in, and she loved it. I took this back there as a blind taste and let her taste it, and she says, "Smells like a lot of alcohol." And I went, "Yeah." She says, She tasted it and she says, I don't know, real boozy." I'm going, "Yeah, it's a little more on the boozy side." She says, "Yeah, it's got a bite." I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's 10%. She goes, "Really?" And I went, "She says, it's boozy." I went, "Yeah." And I told her what it was, and she went, so she was shocked. I mean, there's so much hype that goes with this beer. To me, my opinion, it's a delicious beer. But to me this year, it's not quite as sweet and juicy, and it's a little more boozier than what it has been. So the alcohol is definitely not hidden as well as it has been. I thought last year's and the year before was just a pleasure, a juicy. I mean, I could not taste or smell the alcohol from what I remember. I would like to do a Pliny, a Hopslam, and a Heady Topper, all three at the same time, and see which one of those three, because those are my top threes as far as super hyped beers, IPAs, which is my style. Final chug, guys. Still an awesome beer, still delicious as always. I'd be mighty proud if I could brew something as tasty as that. And I do like what I brew, especially when I get to dry hop with Simcoe like they've done this. So very tasty beer, very tasty beer. It's an awesome beer. I'm glad I've got what I've got. I'm not disappointed that I bought what I've got. But it's not quite as good to me too. So I'm agreeing with Chris over at Beer Geek Nation. Jamison said he liked it just as good, and I do like it, but I think it's a little boozier and not quite as sweet as it has been. So with that being said, guys, this is my #1 beer, and it's not getting the grade tonight. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's got all the information on it that you need, other than IBUs. Wouldn't mind seeing the IBUs listed, at least on their website. Doesn't even have it on their site here, what the IBUs are. It's probably over 100 anyway. A little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed. Guys, this is a very highly sought after beer. A lot of hype goes with it. Very expensive beer to get. Very limited beer. Like I said, the craft beer stores don't let you have one per person. Not 1 6-pack, 1 bottle. So, very hard beer to get. So, with that being said, I'm going to give it to 9. Of course, you know, Rate Beer and all them got big numbers because it's been around so long. It's got 100 and 100 on Rate Beer. And Beer Advocate comes up with 100. So, I mean, it's 100, 100, 100. And it normally is. Everything when I've had up to this has been 100. But this is not quite the 100. I'm going to give it to 9, and which is basically a 98. I'm giving it to 98 or the 99 tonight, guys. It's not getting the 100%. And I ain't going to be giving any of these away because I still enjoy this beer. But I don't think it's quite, I agree with a lot of reviews, it's not quite as good. I haven't tried any of the other versions that were done as far as bottling dates. So give me some comments back on this one. Like I said, it's not an awful beer. Glad I got what I got. And I'm going to be drinking every day on one of them. Like I said, I may save one of them just to do something with. And if anybody out there wants to send me a Pliny or a Heady Topper where I could do a 3 in a row, I would be happy to re-review these all 3 in a row again. So guys, hit the like button if you like it. Give me some comments back on this one. I probably will, because this is a really big beer as far as the hype and as far as the people that follow and try to get this beer. Let's see what's in the fridge tomorrow. Might be a 10. This one wasn't today. See you then.